Today we're talking all about hormone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy, also known as HRT, is having a moment right now. You can't get on the news or on social media or talk to a friend without hearing about HRT. So I want to give you the information that you need so that you can make empowered and educational choices for yourself. I'm Jessica Valant. I'm a physical therapist and perimenopause and menopause specialist, and I am here to help you feel safe and strong in your body in all seasons of life. For all of my resources, check out the links below. So today we are doing an HRT 101 crash course. I'm going to tell you the basics that you need to know what HRT is, what it means when someone's talking about it, who is appropriate for it, the symptoms that it helps with, and all of those things. Also, we are doing a really deep dive on this topic over on my podcast called Meet Your Body. So I'm going to have a 3-week series where we are interviewing experts. We're going to have a general doctor and menopause specialist. We're going to have a breast cancer specialist. And then we're going to have an episode with me on my own talking to you about my experience with HRT. So if you want more information, check out the link below. Head over to Meet Your Body, where we are going to have that 3-part series. All right, so let's dive in. So first we're going to talk about what is HRT. It stands for hormone replacement therapy, and you're going to hear that term HRT, but that's what it is. It's hormone replacement therapy, and it is using hormones to help replace the ones that we lose in our bodies naturally as we age. And it can be 2 different types. So you're going to hear the terms bioidentical and synthetic. So bioidentical hormones are ones that are exactly like the ones that our body produces on its own. And then synthetic are created or made in a lab. They aren't the exact same, but they're meant to be similar. And then they are administered. So those are the 2 different types that you'll generally hear about. So next, we'll talk about what hormones are actually being replaced. Typically, we're looking at 3: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So again, as we age as women, those hormones decline. So we start to lose those hormones. And yes, it is a natural part of aging. Also, I'm going to tell you right now, it is something that you are able to deal with and ask questions about. Just because it happens as we age doesn't mean that we need to deal with all the symptoms that we have around it. There are a lot of things that happen as we age that we do something about. Our vision changes, our hearing changes, we lose muscle mass, but we are doing something about those. We are willing to get glasses, to lift the weights, to wear the hearing aids, whatever we need to have a high quality of life. I believe your hormones are no different. Just because it's a natural process doesn't mean that we have to just accept it in silence and suffer through the symptoms. So understand that as you're listening to this today. So HRT can be administered in various different ways. Typically, it's going to be through pills, creams, patches, and then also something called pellets right now are popular, and that's typically for testosterone. And that is one that is actually administered in your body, and it's placed there. They'll make a little cut and they'll put a pellet in and they sew it up, and then that is administered over a few months. So again, when you're talking about HRT, typically you're either going to be taking a pill or you're going to be using a cream, or there are patches, and then again, pellets are somewhat popular right now. So all of these choices, right, whether you need estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, bioidentical, synthetic, what kind of administration technique you want to use, all of that is individual, and it's based on you, it's based on your situation, it's based on your hormone levels and your life and your symptoms, and it's based on your doctor and so many things. So it's really important as you go through this process that you find some physicians or healthcare professionals that you trust, that are willing to listen to you and your symptoms and do not brush you off, and that you understand that you have some choice in the matter. So those are the biggest things I want you to know. I want you to be educated. I want you to learn the questions that you need to ask, and I want you to find a healthcare professional that will listen to you. Right now, unfortunately, it's really common for some doctors to say, you don't need that, you're not appropriate for that, and they shut the door on the conversation. And that's the key. You do not let the conversation stop. Find someone who is at least willing to have this conversation with you and listen to your symptoms, and then find out the best administration for you and your lifestyle. All right, so let's talk about why you might be a candidate or why you might want to look into HRT. As I mentioned, as we go through the perimenopausal and menopausal transitions, our estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone all decline. So you could look at this as symptomatic. So you might be suffering from symptoms such as anxiety and depression, brain fog, lack of sleep, hot flashes, muscle pain, joint pain, so many other things that can be addressed through HRT. So keep that in mind. It's not just slapping a Band-Aid on it. You are truly addressing the root cause of these symptoms. Also, another thing that's really important that I personally looked into years ago when I was having my hysterectomy, I wanted to know what would happen if I had both ovaries taken and I went into early menopause. There are many studies that show early menopause, that lack of estrogen early on, actually leads to a higher incidence of cardiovascular disease and dementia and other issues. So our bodies do need estrogen to a certain amount. So not only can you help your symptoms, but in some cases, going on certain types of HRT can actually help you prevent those kind of diseases. It's really important to understand the history of HRT and why it's having a moment right now. So there is something called the Women's Health Initiative study that happened in the early 2000s, and it was a very large study that looked at HRT in women. That study stopped early. They stopped the study altogether because they said at the time that they found that HRT was causing an increased level of stroke, cardiovascular disease, and breast cancer in women. And probably many of you remember that. I do. I was right there in it, a physical therapist at the time. And the message became HRT is bad and it's dangerous and it will lead to these things. And so we have thought that for about 20 years now. We now know that study was flawed, and that is why HRT is having a moment right now. It's not just a trend, it's that finally we understand that study was flawed. It was performed incorrectly. The data was not reviewed correctly. It was not interpreted correctly. Many of the scientists on that study have come out with papers now saying that it was interpreted incorrectly. And so you really have to take those findings and set them to the side. We now know, especially for certain cases we'll talk about, that HRT doesn't necessarily lead to those things for everyone. There are many different nuances around it, so I want you to understand that. This is individual per person, but we now know that fear that went right into the marketplace, that women thought HRT was going to cause those things. That study was done incorrectly, all right? So remember that moving forward, and that's why HRT now, again, is having a moment, because we now know how beneficial it can be for many women. So let me tell you my history. So as many of you know who have followed me here, I'll tell you all the context. I'm 47 years old. I realized I was in perimenopause about 2 to 3 years ago. I have a history of endometriosis. I did have a hysterectomy 5 years ago with only one ovary taken, so I did not go into menopause at that time. And I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 1.5 years ago. I had not thought about HRT whatsoever, all right? I was leaving one of the appointments with my oncologist during my diagnosis after my mastectomy. She brought up and said, I just want you to know, when and if you're ready to have a conversation around HRT, I'm happy to talk to you about it. You are not necessarily not a candidate. She said there's going to be many options for you when you're ready, or if you're ready to have that discussion, and I don't want you to be afraid to talk to me about it. That really opened up the door for me to understand that having an understanding healthcare professional was so important, and there were options for me. So about 6 months ago, I started to notice quite a bit of vaginal dryness and itching. I mean, to the point it was very much affecting my quality of life. I also have a history of prolapse, so I know I have very weak and thinning muscles in my pelvic floor. I started to do my own research around vaginal estrogen. So vaginal estrogen is a little different than systemic HRT. Systemic HRT is you take a pill or again a patch, and that means it's going, the estrogen, whatever you're taking, is going through your entire system, through your liver, being distributed. Vaginal estrogen is a cream that you place on your vagina, and it is local. It means it does not go throughout your system whatsoever. It stays in place. And it has been phenomenal for me. I did, again, you know me, I did my research. It has been shown to help with all of those symptoms I mentioned. It's actually been shown to help your pelvic floor muscles and incontinence. And the American Genitourinary Association just came out with its own recommendations saying that vaginal estrogen, one, is safe for women even with a breast cancer history. It does not show to increase your rate of breast cancer recurrence whatsoever. And it is recommending that doctors use vaginal estrogen to help treat UTIs and dryness and itching, because that can lead to a big loss of quality of life later on. So I say that again to give you information and to know that is a really, really good option. If you have a history like me, but you're having some symptoms, that can be an amazing option. So ask your doctor about vaginal estrogen or estradiol cream. For me, and personally, that is the one area that I have used it, that I have felt 100% safe, that it has helped me so much. Going forward, if I feel like I have more symptoms, I will talk to my doctor about them. I'm not to that place yet, but I like the fact that my fear has been removed and I have doctors who are willing to have that conversation with me. All right, so your takeaways. One, you are gathering information, right? That's it. Educate yourself. Know the facts, know the science, know what you can take to your doctor. Next, have a doctor who's willing to listen. You can use your general practitioner, you can use your OBGYN, you can see a functional medicine doctor, you can see a women's health specialist. There are so many people out there. And again, my biggest recommendation is if you have someone who shuts you down and isn't willing to have this conversation, find someone else. Okay, your symptoms are worthwhile, they are worthy to you, they are important, don't ignore them. You can do something for yourself to feel better. Another takeaway is this is different for everyone. There is nuance and there's so much individuality when it comes to hormone replacement therapy and our aging process. It might be right for you and it might not. I don't want you to feel pressured to use HRT or to not use HRT. This is just a discussion and I want you to be open to having it if it's important to you. If you don't want it, don't feel pressured to have it. And if you do want it or you have questions, don't feel pressured to ignore those things, right? So it's different for everyone. You need to find someone who's willing to consider the entire situation for you and move forward with that. And then my final takeaway for you is to know that HRT is just one of many tools that you're going to use during the perimenopause and menopause transition to support and nourish yourself. It's not the end all be all. It is one piece of so many things that we talk about here. Getting good sleep, regulating your nervous system, decreasing your stress, eating nourishing foods, staying hydrated, being out in sun, taking your walks, lifting your weights, all of those things. Each piece is just as important on that wheel of overall health and supporting yourself. So if you do have a history like mine that maybe sometimes makes you feel left out of the conversation of HRT, don't feel that way. There are so many things to still support your body. And same, if you've tried HRT and it hasn't helped all the way, make sure that you are using the other systems. HRT won't fix it all if you haven't addressed your nervous system and nourishing your body and lifting your weights and all the things. It is one piece of a really large puzzle. But remember, you can support yourself during this time. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to sit with your symptoms assuming that it's just normal for all of us to feel that way. You can feel better in the body that you have. Find someone who's willing to support you, educate yourself, and know that you aren't alone. All right, I'll see you again soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you never miss new releases. And here are a few recommendations for what to try next. See you soon.